Hey everybody, it's Nightwatch N8. I'm looking a little tired right now. It's because I had to get up in the morning to drive this truck down to get work done. Yeah, it's too cold out for me to work on it myself, so we're having somebody else do it for us. And as y'all know, I'm a little bit of a night owl, so I don't do mornings too well, but I'm surviving. I'm hanging in there. Man, the world has gone mad, hasn't it? Just gone mad. Insane. Clown world, as some like to call it. It's kind of like an alien invasion, killer clowns from outer space kind of a clown world, in my opinion. Anybody's watched that? A classic horror flick? Yeah, so I just released a short on a recent interview with Michael Strahan on ABC's GMA, one-on-one interview with Damar Hamlin. And isn't it bizarre how the guy just, well, for one thing, the long pause was, I was actually surprised they left that in the interview. I didn't count it, but it must have been about, man, what do you think? 15, 20 seconds. Where he was just trying to gather his thoughts on how to answer the question. The simple question should be fairly straightforward, right? Could give us at least a clue, at least some indication what happened to your heart, Damar. But he refused to answer it. So the one question that's on everybody's minds, that everybody wants to know, Damar refuses to answer for whatever reason, right, guys? I'm not sure. It's bizarre, like, at this point. It's completely bizarre. Fellow neighbors hauling some water. So yeah, is he at risk of breaching his contract? Did he sign an NDA? Did they offer him like a secret deal to make sure him and every one of his family members retire in luxury? I mean, what's the price of, what does it benefit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his own soul, as the scripture goes, right? After all, I hear he's a Christian, but man, according to that jacket he had on, really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I posted out on Twitter. Yeah, by the way, I'm locked out of my account right now on Twitter. I have no idea why. I tried to verify. I think it was kind of tricky how they make you verify if there's something peculiar with your account. And y'all know me, I don't like to verify, so I do have a alias kind of number that I did add to my Twitter account. I think it required some kind of a phone number. But I tried to verify several times, and it would pick up the little automated voice, and it would get about halfway through the verification code, and then it would hang up. It did that about 10 times, and then I ran out of tries, I guess. They said I tried too many times, and I have to wait a while, whatever that means, to try it again, to try to verify again. So I did email Twitter, try to figure out why the hell my account was locked, I'm kind of wondering, are they going to try to get me for harassment of, little old Damar or something like that, which I was not doing. I would post links to my videos, like that recent short. Maybe they don't like that, right? It's just this slippery slope that we're all sliding down head first into a concrete wall with all these monopolistic social media platforms. Trusting them with our ability to speak freely, right? And isn't that the whole kind of gimmick in my mind behind Elon Musk and the confidence man that he is? The change of the guard, as it were. It's kind of like the voting process, right? You get one of two choices, A or B, left or right wing of the same bird of fascism. And it gives the illusion that you have a choice, and there's like a polar opposites, right? That there's a dialectic, right? Perhaps that's what they're doing maybe with these social media platforms now that the right has been so censored, been so oppressed for so long. They know that there's going to be pushback. They know that there's going to be blowback, the CIA term. And they have to kind of fill that need, right? And I just think it's ironic. It's really ironic, even though a lot of people like to excuse it away. Oh, I can't be guilty for those who I associate with. Well, what's Elon Musk, who is the owner, CEO, whatever, of the largest, most used internet platform, used by journalists in particular, hanging out with Rupert and his daughter, Elizabeth, I believe, Murdoch, at the Super Bowl. Just having a good old time, right? Just laughing it up, hobnobbing, bumping elbows, I don't know. You know, Musk aside, what would Rupert Murdoch, the legacy media monopoly man that he is, what would his interest be in Elon Musk? Just, you know, these little questions that just bug me. I know for some people, you know, I swear they just gotta have a golden calf. They gotta have a fighter in the ring. You know, they gotta have a superhero, a caped superhero that's gonna come rescue them from all the evil that's in the world. They can't just look at this situation objectively and say, you know what? I think they're all freaking corrupt. I think anybody that gets in a position of such power in this evil world has got to be kind of compromised on some level, right? Everybody's talking about the what is it, Epstein's client list coming out, supposedly. Kind of believe it when I see it. That'd be awesome. But what is it, the judge ordered that the I'd be, if this is a real story and not just, you know, like another sugar pill for the masses, I'd be concerned for that judge's life, you know, if I were that judge. But supposedly he ordered the release of the client list of Epstein, right? And so that's been all over the news, well, at least all over the Twitter news, trending on Twitter. But like I like to remind people, you know who else was on that client list? Elon Musk's brother. Oh, but I can't be, you know, I can't hold those guilty just based on their associations. Well, what are the odds that, you know, out of all the people that Epstein, okay, this car's gonna wait for me just a sec. Start again. Out of all the people in this world that Epstein had to associate with, what are the odds that he would hooked up a girl with Elon Musk's brother? Knowing what was behind that whole CIA front, that little honeypot operation that Musk, or Freudian slip, that little honeypot operation that Epstein was running to incriminate, to blackmail world leaders, influencers, you know, heads of Fortune 500 companies. Just makes you wonder who owns Musk, doesn't it? And, you know, it doesn't take a genius to know that, you know, Musk already has kind of an appetite for the youngins. But who am I to judge, right? In any case, it just makes you wonder, yes, it is important who you associate with. This is just like a common, I can see if you do it unknowingly, right? Like you're seen at a bar with some town harlot, I don't know. But no, if you're a thinking, capable adult and you're posing as a rebel, right? An outsider to this corrupt system, if you're standing for free speech, what are you doing hanging out with the old guard, right? There's a bill being forwarded in Australia right now to try to break up Rupert Murdoch's monopoly on the media over there in Australia. I think he owns, what was it? I can't remember exactly, but maybe 70% of the newspapers, the printed news over there. And what kind of news do you think Rupert Murdoch's news associations puts out? Think it's anything critical of the jabs, maybe, over there in Australia? So I don't know, my speculation with that whole thing is that, I wonder if they're trying to kind of make Twitter in their own image. Kind of the Fox News model, right? That's right, the left-right paradigm that they implemented in the heavily biased left-right news organizations these days. Remember back in the day when news agencies used to just report on the news unopinionated, right? I know you got to look really far back, but even in my lifetime, I remember when they used to just report on a story, even though, of course, that story was probably handpicked, and there's a reason why you heard that particular news item at that particular time. There's always an agenda. You know, there's no free publicity in this world. But I remember a time when there was just, you know, this is what happened, and that's the story, right? Nowadays, it's just like this. How would I describe it? It's like listening to a bunch of teenagers. Teenage girls have a cat fight. You know, about whose boyfriend is hotter. I don't know.
I want to see the country burn. You son of a bitch. I want to see the country burn. You punk. You're nothing but a punk.
Yeah.
You're a punk, Bongino. You're a punk.
You wouldn't tell me that to my face.
We'll leave it there.
You're totally emotionalized. Knee-jerk reactionary. Sensationalized. Some other words I can think of. It's just a totally disingenuous method of reporting the news these days. But you got your voice, right? And you got the other side's voice, right? They tell you everything you want to hear. You know, like a good used car salesman, he's just going to tell you all the good things about the car. Nothing about the past history, right? Nothing about the flood damage. Not going to tell you anything about the bent drive shaft. Nothing about the Fox reporting the polls ahead of time in Arizona. Nothing like that. They're never going to tell you about the bad things about that crappy, you know, about ready to break down about 10 miles away from the car lot piece of trash car that they're trying to sell you. But so yeah, they're just going to try to convert Twitter into like a Fox News version of social media, right? You got to have an alternative platform. And that's what happened right before Musk took over and declared himself a Republican for the first time. Even though admittedly, as many have questioned his intelligence over, he said, I voted for Biden. I don't know one person, I don't think, in my immediate sphere of friends and family, I don't know one person that voted for Biden. Apparently, the smartest man on the planet thought that was a good idea to vote for Biden. Yes, the guy who's repeatedly called for carbon taxes, the guy who still calls himself a liberal on some level, and has declared himself a liberal in the past. The guy who's, right, wearing a Baphomet costume still on his Twitter account. The guy who's trying to brain chip humanity to evolve the race in some kind of AI gods, like it's some kind of sci-fi fiction thriller.
Once you enjoy the Dr. Manhattan lifestyle, once you become a god, seems very, very unlikely you're going to want to go back to being stupid again. I mean, you literally could fundamentally change the way human beings interface with each other.
Yes.
Yes.
You wouldn't need to talk.
I'm so scared of that, but so excited about it at the same time. Is that weird?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the paths to, like think like what are like AI is getting better and better. So now let's assume it's sort of like a benign AI scenario. Even in a benign scenario, we're kind of left behind. We're not along for the ride. We're just too dumb.
Right.
So how do you go along for the ride? So you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah, that's the guy who's going to win over the right? Apparently he has, for some bizarre reason. I really don't get people sometimes, and the excuses that they'll make, the hoops that they'll jump through in order to crown someone the next king, I guess, right? So yeah, it kind of makes sense to me that, at this opportune time, Musk would come in to save the day, wearing that Republican red superhero cape, and right when everybody was jumping ship on Twitter, record losses, right? A dying company. Here comes Musk to save the day, just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, like I like to call it. But yeah, as soon as when everybody's trying to start up, even Trump, right? He still hasn't joined Twitter because he's got his own Truth Social. Right at that time when all these alternative platforms were popping up, like, it was the hottest thing, right? There's Gitter, there's Gab, there's a lot more of that I'm not even on right now, but yeah, just conveniently, Musk comes in to save the day and to save this dying platform that now we know for certain has been continually manipulated by the FBI. It's a monopoly, right? Twitter is a giant monopoly. It's a monopoly on information. When you have world leaders, when you have the President of the United States using this platform on a daily basis, right? That's golden, right? You can't buy publicity better than that. See, I've always seen Twitter as kind of like this monolith of Orwellian level of thought control, basically, and it's really designed pretty craftily. That's a word, craftily. It's really designed to steer the mob. Trending on Twitter, right? Everybody, in order to remain relevant on their platforms, you have to constantly be jumping on what's trending, right? It's like high school all over again, even though I never fit in with that mindset. I was always doing the opposite, right? Of, I guess, what was considered trendy when I was a kid. That's literally the mindset that you have to adopt in order to be popular, guys. You gotta be one of the cool kids, right? You gotta be one of the mindless parrots, parroting, legacy news headlines. Yeah, that's right. Legacy news headlines, like monopolist Rupert Murdoch puts out. We're just there to regurgitate what the established enemy of the people, corporate news media, spits out for our consumption. Like I said in my last podcast on this big Chinese balloon psyop, since when is Twitter like this just an arm or an extension of Operation Mockingbird? We're all just willing participants, right, in promoting the next big psyop. the next big lie. And it just makes me wonder, like what kind of sociological studies are they doing? We talk about TikTok and the Chinese government spying on the American mind, right? Yeah, what about our own government and our intelligence agencies? What kind of information are they gathering on the American mind and how to control that mob mind, that collective, through these social media platforms? And I do believe ultimately that's what they were designed to do. We're not there to encourage independent thinking, free thought, freedom of speech. No, it's just the opposite. They're there to pigeonhole, into, I forgot what the parameters are for a tweet. Only use so many characters. Yeah, they're to boil down and pigeonhole our thought processes to fit neatly within the confines of what's trending on Twitter, right? And here's a radical thought. You know what? As many truthers as there are out there, as many, conspiracy theorist type people out on the internet these days, it is the trend, by the way. Here's a thought, what if the truth, and I mean the whole truth, you get little snippets, little crumbs, little pieces of the big puzzle picture, but what if the whole truth, it's never going to be trending on Twitter? What if the whole truth never trends on Twitter? Just a thought. But it's mind control, Twitter, TikTok, bobbling around like a pigeon, trying to peck up as much birdseed off the ground as you can. And it never quite satisfies, does it? Doesn't seem like you can ever peck up enough to fully feed yourself. Reminds me of the Bible concept of, there's milk and there's meat in the scripture. And, a baby requires milk. But when you grow as a Christian, there's the heavier stuff. There's the deeper teachings within the scriptures. But these platforms are geared towards keeping everybody mentally kind of stunted. Babies, right? Sipping in their mama's milk for nourishment. Anyway, just some thoughts. I'm downtown right now. As you can probably tell, everything's flat. Just left the mountains. Yeah, stay tuned. I plan on putting out more videos. By the way, I did mention TikTok. A friend did finally convince me to get on that platform. With all the starry-eyed stories of getting like 1 million views off of, usually some pointless stuff. But I thought I'd try to do some real short videos with a link, of course, to my YouTube video or my YouTube channel. And who knows, right? So I just put one out, that little short on Damar, just last night. I come back and I got 39,000 views on TikTok. And like anything else, it's real superficial. People just continually scroll through those videos. I did see an uptick in my subscribers on YouTube, so that's cool, that worked. I still haven't figured out how to put a link in TikTok. So I got in my comments, I got my URL typed out, but then they have to their finger, highlight it, cut, paste. Not likely too many people are gonna have the attention span to want to do that. But apparently a few did. So I guess that's the kind of audience that I want anyway, coming to my channel. Because, you know, many of you know, who know me, anything about me, now that I'm almost a half an hour into this rant, I'm a little more long-winded than a typical TikTok video. When I first got on that platform, I'm just like scrolling through their suggested videos, and I'm like, what the hell is this stuff? Like, why would anybody want to watch any of this pointless garbage? I'm sure there's some funny stuff, but it's like just the most mundane. I don't get it. So it might not even be the right audience for me, even though I got a huge response from that Damar video. So apparently there's quite a few little truthers out there on that Chinese communist platform. But yeah, one thing I'll tell you is I didn't give them any information about myself, and I'm just using it on my PC. I'm not even connecting it to my phone. So that is one thing I would recommend everybody out there not to do, unless you've done it already and you've just come from TikTok. Then hey, no judgment here, guys. To each their own. Just recognize, know your enemy and know that you're on your enemy's platform is all I'm saying. Because China is no friend of freedom. And unfortunately, criminals who have seized and captured our government are also no friend of freedom, even though they have to masquerade, you know, like champions of free speech, right? Anyway, so that's the latest news. Yeah, I'm on TikTok now. It's Nightwatch N8, spelled out. Nightwatch N8. Yeah, and hopefully I'll get back on Twitter. We'll see. I mean, if they ever answer my appeal, I'm not sure how timely they are about getting back to emails, but I guess we'll soon find out, because I'm literally given no other option other than to verify with the number that I gave them, which doesn't seem to work. So I don't know, is this the new Twitter there, Musk? Is this how it works? You speak out, you start gaining a little too much traction, as I was, and yeah, your account gets locked. And this has been an ongoing thing. Like, everybody thinks everything changed as soon as Musk took over. It's like, no, there's plenty of people still getting banned, still getting their accounts locked. And so it's obviously, you know, obviously Elon's not a miracle worker in this case. And that platform needs a lot more work if they're going to make the outrageous claim to be some kind of a mecca for free speech on the internet. But that's the brand they're going for, so they know that there's a thirst for it, there's a hunger for it, and that's what they're shooting for. And Elizabeth Murdoch, pictured on Elon Musk's right, the camera's left, I guess. Elizabeth Murdoch, well, you know, she's a monopolist in her own right. At one point, she owned some media companies in the UK, and at one point, BBC named her the 5th most influential, most wealthy woman in the UK. So the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, does it? And that's usually how these old generational wealth kind of work. Interestingly enough, Elizabeth's first husband worked for the Rothschilds, so yeah, interesting how all these elites are just kind of inbred, aren't they? And that's why it's comical to think that Elon is really the richest man on the planet. Right. There it is. Saying adieu to the truck. Yeah, again, shout out to this place for giving me a reasonable estimate on repairs on that thing. There it is right here. Big Thompson Big Thompson Diesel and Automotive, Loveland, Colorado. Yeah. And it was almost like, not quite, almost half of what the other place was going to charge me fixing the truck. It's got an H-pop leak, it's got glow plugs, it's got the manual locking hubs need to be fixed, get four-wheel drive back in that beast. We'll be back on the road. Maybe we'll do some like another trip to Independence Pass type of series. Thoughts on what it means to be free in America these days. While out on the road, doing some camping. Who knows? Yeah, it's a beautiful day out here. I just wanted to express that to everybody. Let's just value every day of life, huh? Every day that we're alive, let's just thank the Lord for it. Let's not forget where God has led us in the past. Let's try to remain optimistic for the future. Look at this statue over here. Crazy. Must be a sculptor. Look at this. It's like he's holding a puppy dog. It's like an aviator of some sort. Look at the size of this guy. The size of this thing. Just like his puppy dog, huh? First woman aviator of America. I am Rosie. Okay. Thing's huge. First woman aviator of America, and her dog, I guess. Sure, that one cost a pretty penny. Maybe it'll end up in downtown Denver somewhere or something. Who knows? You never know until you walk around out here in these different business districts, outskirts of town. You never know what kind of work's getting done. Here's a old piece of the past right here. Look at that old house. Wow. There's not too many left like that. Still got the old tire swing out there for somebody's kid. Yeah, it's pretty neat to see. Our history is quickly being erased. And some by chance, some of it's being erased on purpose. We all know the agenda. Or we should know the agenda by now, is to adopt this world citizen kind of outlook. You know, they're indoctrinating the kids to think that way, to hate our own country, and just embrace this world citizen nonsense. Well, if you're a world citizen, you don't have your own country. Good luck ever getting your elected or unelected representatives to do anything you want them to, right? So much for a government of the people when you're a world citizen. The flag still flies over the land of the somewhat free and the home of the mostly timid. Some of us out here still have a little fight left in us, right? We're not about ready to give up on her just yet. Just don't be fooled, people. Be wise as serpents, harmless as doves, and keep on watching my videos if you could. Appreciate it. Nightwatch N8, signing out.